Well, this is quite unfortunate. While I was reassembling the MSO2304X after the teardown video, I managed to damage the FFC display connector on the LCD side. I have been doing reviews and teardowns all these years and haven't damaged anything yet as a result of teardown, of course until now. I guess it's bound to happen at some point. Yeah, let me just quickly show you here. And you can see that here is the display board, and that was the connector. Originally it was on the board. Of course, I had yanked it off. Anyway, let me tell you briefly what happened. This scope has many modules, and there are a lot of screws to secure them in place. After I reassembled the main board and the input control board, I wanted to connect the display and power it on just to make sure everything is connected correctly before I screw the mainboard assembly onto the case. So you can see that the main assembly fits into the case like this. And of course, there are plenty of screws on the main board that screws in onto the case. So what I did was actually I was holding the case and tried to power it on. Actually, I think I was holding it the other way. So I was holding it this way, you can see here. And then I was trying to power it on and lean backwards, but I forgot that the main board was not secured. So anyway, long story short is then the back of the unit fell backwards, and that was the end of the display cable. So hindsight is 2020. The lesson learned here is I should have secured the board with at least a few screws before attempting to do a power on test. Sure, it would have taken me extra time, but I would have avoided the problem I'm facing right now. Anyway, I don't know the exact brand of the connector they're using here, but it's a 40-pin 0.5mm pitch FFC connector. So let's see if I can fix it. Hopefully I did not rip off any traces during the incident. Well, I had to order the connector as I don't have any 40-pin FFC connectors lying around. The closest I can get is this one from Mouser, you can see. Now, it's not quite the same kind, but it is also a 40-pin 0.5mm pitch FFC socket. So hopefully this one will work, but if it doesn't, we'll have to do something else. I had cleaned the PCB a little bit and tinned the traces off the camera earlier. I am still a little bit concerned about the traces as I don't know if anything get damaged, as if that is the case, it would be much harder to repair. But looking under the microscope, you can see I don't see any major issue. Let me just move it across. You can see that. The pins look like they are still, at least the pads are still on the board. So that is a good sign. I think what's going to make this repair a little bit more challenging is that the board is mounted on the back of the LCD. I took the LCD out earlier and hoping that I could first detach the board, but I couldn't. So soldering might not work as well because the backplate here is metal and it will conduct a lot of heat. So I might not be able to get the traces up to temperature with a fine-tipped iron easily. I'd rather not use hot air because I can't preheat the bottom side of the board, and the connector might not be able to withstand the temperature for an extended period of time anyway. Now, my setup here doesn't really allow me to work on the board and record at the same time because the board is pretty far from the camera, and it's going to be very difficult for me to solder here. But I can show you this is the tip I'm using, and actually here, and let's see it under the scope. You can see it is pretty big, but hopefully I can work out. So let me work off the camera and I will show you the result. Alright, it took me quite a bit of time to solder everything in place, and exactly as I expected, some of the pads, because they are on the ground plane, it's actually very difficult to solder with a fine soldering tip. So you can see that some of the soldering is not as ideal. Let's just see here. And you see this one right here. Let me see if I can pinpoint to the pin here. Yeah, this one right here, that's actually on a large ground plane. And because we have a metal plate underneath, so it actually transfers a lot of heat. And the soldering tip didn't quite work. But I managed to solder everything down. But you can see that the pins are actually soldered down. So I had already wiggled every single pin to make sure that they are soldered in place. Let's take a look here. The majority is not bad, but you can see here, here's another one. And this one here, that also is on the ground plane. And overall, from a soldering perspective, I feel pretty good about this. Of course, the only sure way to test whether or not the fix worked is to attach the FFC cable back and to see if the display works. So let me do that. Before I reassemble the mainboard here, I just want to show you, here is the replacement FFC connector, and you can see that compared to the original one, it's much bigger. So the clearance between the connector and the cutout is actually tiny, and the cable barely fits. Hopefully this won't be an issue, And I'm thinking I probably will use Kapton tape to secure the FFC connector here. Actually, let me do that. Actually, the new connector is of better quality, I think, because the flap actually locks in place. So that's good. Let me put a piece of tape on here so we don't exert pressure, hopefully, on the connector itself. Alright. And now let me put the main board assembly in. And I need to be very careful, as that's how the mishap happened last time. So you can see, I really wish they had made this flat flex a little bit longer, so that it's easier to reassemble. But we will deal with what we have here. So let me try to gently thread everything in. Of course, I probably have to do this off camera because I can't really see what's going on here. One moment. To avoid the mistake I made last time, I'm going to secure the board to the frame here. So let's put a few screws in. We just need to put a few because there are actually quite a few of these. And that's actually why I didn't want to put those in before, but lessons learned. Alright, one more screw. This time I'd rather be a little bit more cautious, as haste makes waste. Alright, now I'm going to reconnect these cables. Need to be very careful here. This is for the touch screen. There we go. Alright, now we have to deal with this display flat flex, and you can see that this is just too short. And there's really no margin for error here. So I have to be very careful here. And it appears the cable is in. Let me press it down. Now, moment of truth. So let's reorient the board here. And I'm going to just temporarily plug in the power supply here. So for this test, we only need the main power supply here. Alright, let me turn on. Is it on? Nope. Okay, so let me lift it up. And you can see how dangerous this is if you don't fasten the main board onto the case here, as that's how the board fell backwards and damaged the display connector. Anyway, to be very honest, I'm a little bit nervous, but let's give it a go. Aha! It worked! Whew! Alright, so let's wait till it boots up and we can test the other functionalities before I actually put everything back together. So let's just wait. And is the touch screen working? Yep, it's working. How about the knobs? Yep, everything seems to be working. Single. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to power it off and reassemble everything together. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short repair video and learned from my mistake. If you liked the video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Your participation makes videos like this possible. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.